Hi, my name is Van, and today I'm honored to be one of the representatives of Group 7 to make a discussion on the topic Is the climate change the greatest threat to human existence, or it is more likely a pandemic, etc.? So, before we get to the content of the discussion, let's take a look at the outline. And in the first part, we're gonna move to the definition of climate change, and then we will analyze the survey form that we made. In part 3 and 4, we would argue if the climate change is just one of the threats to human, not the greatest one, or it is truly the greatest threat. Finally, we will make the conclusion and our group's opinion. We have 5 parts in total, and I'm going to be in charge of the first 3 parts, and my teammate Pom will present the rest. So, what is climate change? To make it clearer, we will explain the definition of climate first. As you can see here, climate is the regular pattern of the weather conditions of a particular place. To be more specific, rainy, sunny, snowy, etc. are considered climate. And now the climate change is the long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. In other words, it is a change in the world's weather, including in temperature, wind patterns, rainfall, and so on. And to understand the thinking and behavior of people towards climate change, we made a small survey so that we're gonna take a look right now. As you can see here, our first question was, what do you think is the greatest threat to human existence? The biggest proportion of participants chose climate change with 39.8%, and the second biggest threat voted by them was media falls of 20.5%, and the rest was for a world war, a pandemic, or alien invasion. And then we asked if they think climate change can lead to the human extinction, and the result is that uh, 80 87.6% of them said yes. We also wonder if it is the greatest threat to human life or it is more likely a pandemic, and we received the bigger proportion for the first opinion. And next, we tried to find out the participants' knowledge about the climate change influence on human. However, there is just a small group of people claim that climate change is just a hoax. And in the last question, we required them to rate the urgent level of climate change impact. Most of them considered it is truly dangerous, whereas some people don't think so. After the survey, we found out that most of participants believe climate change as the greatest threat to human extinction, existence, and they are also able to determine how it affects to the world. However, not all of them. And to make the topic clearer, I would start the argument with the first viewpoint that climate change is just one of the threats to the world's existence, not the greatest. I have found some other threats to prove the opinion. And firstly, nuclear war. Back to the year 1945, two atomic bombs were released to Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan by the US. and the two huge bombings killed between 129,000 and 226,000 people. And as you can see here, if nuclear war, as you can see, if nuclear war continues happening, the planet will be at risk. As you know, the world has been facing to the world has been facing to the world pandemic COVID-19 from 2019 until now, and the coronavirus have caused to more than 500,000,000 deaths all over the world, and you can see in the statistical table right here. And the pandemic has not only killed many people, but also damaged the world's economy due to the fact that business had to delay or even stop to follow the social distance policy in order to prevent the disease. Now, although the government has required vaccinated for its citizens, it can help to prevent virus. However, we cannot um we cannot completely ensure anything in the future, of course. And the next one, climate change, because of human industry that release a huge amount of carbon dioxide. The climate is getting worse and worse over the years, and this has led to the ice melt, high temperature, unusual hurricanes, and so on. And if people don't start to action now, the world might suffer from unpredictable disaster in the future. And now I will tell you another threat to human existence, that is biological warfare. In China from the year 1937 to 1945, Japan carried out a testing program in biological warfare, and this caused to more than 3,000 deaths. Moreover, we cannot even measure the potential danger behind this type of war. And the last one, asteroid, is also listed to be the threat to human life on February 5th, on February 5th, 15th in the year 20 and 30. A small asteroid with an estimated size of 65 feet, I mean 20 meters, entered Earth's atmosphere. When it struck the protective blanket of air around our planet, which did its job and caused the asteroid to explode. And the explosion took place only about 20 miles, about 30 kilometers, I mean, about above the city of Chelyabinsk in Russia, and carried 20 to 30 times the energy of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. Its shock wave broke windows and knocked down parts of building in six Russian cities. And furthermore, it caused to the 1,500 people to seek the medical attention for injury, and mostly from flying class. And after all, we believe that um, there are many threats to human life, and climate change is just one of them. Compared to the other threats, climate change is just a harmful factor to nature. It doesn't influence too much on human, hence, it is not the greatest threat to the human existence. And now my teammate will argue the second viewpoint.
My name is Phong, and now I will convince you how climate change is why climate change is really the greatest threat to the human existence, and why climate change is the big problem on lại. Uh, my name is Phong, and now I will convince you why the climate change is the really greatest threat to the human existence, and climate change is the big problem all over the world, uh, and how climate change affects the social and environmental determinants of health, clean air, safe drinking water, and sufficient food, and secure shelter. And have evidence that is between 2030 and 2050, climate change is expected to cause approximately 2,100 additional deaths per year. And now I will show you that's why climate change is already impacting health in myriad of ways. Including by leading to death and illness from increasingly frequent extreme weather events such as the heat wave and the floods, the disruption of food system, and furthermore, climate change is undermining many of the social determinants of good health, such as the livelihood and equality and access to the healthcare and social support structure. The climate sensitive health risks are disproportionately felt by the most vulnerable and disadvantaged, and including women, children, and poor communities. Millions are displaced persons and with those underlying health condition. And the next, I will show you that the look at the ways that climate change can affect your health, including some less obvious but still insidious effects. At the begin with the air pollution. Climate change is caused by increasing carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas in Earth atmospheres, mainly from fossil fuel emissions. But burning fossil fuels can also have direct consequence on the human health. That is because the polluted air contains small particle that can include stroke and heart attacks by maintaining the lung and the heart, and even traveling into the blood stream. Though particle might harm the organ directly, or the provoke and inflammatory response from the immune system as it tries to fight them off. And estimates suggest that the air pollution occurs between 3.6 million and 9 million premature deaths yearly. Evolution also has consequences for those with allergies. Carbon dioxide increase the acidity of the air, which then push more pollen out from lands. For some people, this might just mean that they face annoyingly long but seasonal allergies, but for the other, it could be like 13. And the next, that is the extreme heat. The body human was not designed to cope with the temperature above 76 degrees Celsius, because human body was not designed for the temperature above 37 37. So heat can break down the muscle, the body does have some a way to deal with the heat, such as the sweating. But when it's hot outside all the time, you cannot cope with that, and your heart muscle and cells start to literally die and degrade. And if you are possible to extreme heat for too long and are unable to at the quality release that hurt, the stress can cause a cascade of problems throughout the body. The heat has to work harder to pump blood to rest the organs, while with leaches the body of necessary minor such as the sodium and potassium. The combination can result in heart attack and strokes. And the last I want to say that is extremely important. That is food insecurity, one of the less direct but no less harmful way that climate change can affect health is by disrupting the world supply of food. Climate change both reduce the amount of food that's available and makes it less nutrition, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) special report. Crop yield have already begun to decline as a result of rising temperature, changing precipitation patterns, and extreme weather events. Meanwhile, studies have shown that increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere can leach plant the zinc, iron, and the protein nutrient that humans need to survive. And it's not easy to we need to act now. We need to act now because the our Earth, and it's not too late to do anything. And let's see how the Miss Universe 2021 Hannah Sandu speak about the climate change and how she convince audience.
Many people think climate change is a hoax. What would you do to convince them otherwise?
Honestly, my heart breaks to see how nature is going through a lot of problems, and it's all due to our irresponsible behavior. And I totally feel that this is the time to take actions and talk less, because each action could either kill or save nature. Prevent and protect is better than repent and repair, and this is what I'm trying to convince you guys today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the finalists, I just want to say that please, we need to act. We need to act now because our Earth, our life, and our young generation. Please protect the Earth, and the Earth is more valuable than more. Thank you for listening.